Art, Literature, and Architecture, presented to you by Abby, Casey, Hogan, Jack, Jalen, Mia, and Lyndon.
Sometimes people get the Middle Ages and the Renaissance confused, but they are actually really different, especially when it comes to art, literature, and architecture. Back in the Middle Ages, almost all art was based on church. There wasn't very much variety. In the Renaissance, on the other hand, art was based on a lot of different things. Art in the Renaissance also had realistic figures, opposed to the boring figures of Middle Ages art.
Not much was really invented during the Renaissance if you don't count modern civilization. Our next topic is architecture. Back in the Middle Ages, houses were like, bro, we're all tall, thin, and Gothic. But in the Renaissance, houses were like, domes rock. Churches in the Middle Ages were like cross-shaped, but in the Renaissance, they were shaped like circles and squares. Finally, the literature. In the Renaissance, literature was so much deeper than the Middle Ages.
A lot of the ideas set forth by Renaissance people have changed how we do things now. For instance, architecture really helped in the way we build things today. For example, many churches today mimic the design of the church in the Renaissance. Brunicelli invented a way to lift heavy objects, and it was used many years later. Art is also still used today in many things. Today we use the Mona Lisa and many commercials to make things look special or beautiful. The ideas of artists such as Giotto, Leonardo, and Michelangelo were copied by other artists in time. It spread through Western Europe.
Leonardo da Vinci was an artist in the Renaissance times. He was a skilled painter using a technique called sfumato, or smoke, to make a color gradually turn from dark to light. Leonardo studied and soon figured out slow-mo. Leonardo believed that to paint an object, he had to understand it, and this led him to create his famous bird wings. His most famous piece of art, though, is the Mona Lisa. This painting is extremely valuable. Leonardo once said, "Why does the eye see a thing more clearly in dreams than the imagination when awake?" This is probably why he really invented his bird wings. Leonardo was skilled in many things, truly making him a Renaissance man.
Michelangelo was another artist and a devoted Christian. He was born March the 6th, 1475, and died February the 18th, 1564. The church was his greatest patron. When he carved the statue of Moses, he included veins and muscles in the arms and legs. He was one of the greatest artists of all time. His ideas and techniques and other amazing talents were copied and made better by other amazing artists and architects. Not only was he an artist, but he was also a sculptor, painter, and an architect. You can see the passion in these words. A man paints with his brains and not with his hands. And every block of stone has a statue inside it, and it's the task of a sculptor to discover it. His work was so amazing and breathtaking. He would take so much time with his work. That is one of the reasons his work is so good.
William Shakespeare was a very important man and contributed important literature in the Renaissance. He worked in the theater in the biggest part of the Renaissance movement and was one of the first people to put the Renaissance's values into the theater. Shakespeare was born near the end of the Renaissance and may have been Catholic. People doubted the power of the kings, which was the cause of some rebellious actions. It inspired Shakespeare to express the humanity in every character in his plays, regardless of their social position. He also used his knowledge of Greek and Roman classics when he wrote his plays. As William Shakespeare once said, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves." Thank you for watching our video about the Renaissance. Check out our classmates' videos to learn more.